Hello and welcome back to Matt's Automotive channel. This is part 8 of the video series for the Cobra engine rebuild. I was really hoping to get to the block and start working on pistons and crankshaft and that sort of thing, but as I was reassembling the other head that I did not show on video, I ran into some issues, and let me show you what's going on. Okay, as I put the cams back in here and tighten these cam caps down, it became very difficult to turn these cams. And so I figured I did clean them all up and whatnot, put them back in, and it didn't really make it any easier. So I figured I'd take a look at the straightness of the cam. So I put this one cam cap back on, tightened it down, and then put a dial indicator at the other end. So now as I spin this, we can kind of look at how straight this thing is, and you can see that I'm experiencing about 5 thousandths run out on this cam. And since this other one's difficult to turn, I'm sure I have something similar on this one as well. Probably not as bad, but this is definitely an issue that we're going to have to address. Okay guys, I realize that this is a very crude setup here. I probably should build a jig for testing this exact sort of thing, but basically I have it supported on both ends here, and I believe this is normally how runout is measured, where it's supported on both ends and then the dial gauge goes in the center. And before we were measuring at the very end, and it was around 5 thousandths. I would expect about half that if we're measuring it in the center. So let's go ahead and just twist this just to verify. And right there is just about 2.5. And as we keep spinning, it comes right back down to 0. So that just confirms what we saw when it was still on the cylinder head. We're just measuring half, but that's because we're in the center. So anyway, we definitely have a camshaft that's no longer straight. I don't know if a machine shop can straighten these out or not. It's something I'll have to call and ask about, because other than that, it seems to be in pretty good shape. It's just not straight. If we could just get it straight again, I think we could use this camshaft. I went ahead and marked both the high and low sides. I put the H here for the high and a little X here on the low, and I marked these based on the dial indicator. So if everything is correct, this H should be about 180-degree offset from the X, and it looks like it is, so that just gives me the extra assurance that I'm going to be bending it in the right direction. So let's go ahead and set this thing up and hit it with the air hammer and see if we can't get it straightened out. All right, so what I've done here is I took one of these air chisels here and kind of rounded out so it has about the same radius as the cam, so I don't put any high pressure points in it or damage it. And also, I've supported it here on both ends, but not from where the bearings reside, because I want to impact where the bearings are and potentially destroy those. So anyway, I got this oriented so the high spot is up, and got the pressure here on the air hammer. So I'm just going to hit it a couple times, one on each side here, and then we'll go back over and take a measurement and see if we've made any progress. Okay, let's go see. As you can see, it did scuff it up a little bit, but at least that's not where the bearings reside. All right, guys, you can see, looks a little bit better now. I'm gonna try to zero this thing out. All right, guys, got it zeroed out here, and let's see, here was our low spot before, and there's our high, and it looks like now we're within 1/1000th of an inch, maybe just slightly over. So let's go hit it again, see if we can't get it totally straight. Okay, we're getting pretty darn close. I think we're within 1/1000th now. So the high spot that we previously marked is still high and low, but we're getting there. I think maybe 1 or 2 more times and we got it. Okay, I know we're within a thousandth now, so I'm going to just put it back in here, kind of snug these down and just see how freely it spins. This feels a lot better already. As you can see, it's pretty effortless. So anyway, let's just snug these down a little bit. Okay, so oh guys, this is so much better. Okay, now that I got it snugged down, it's still a bit difficult to turn. I mean, I can turn it now, so it's slightly easier as you can see, but it's still a good amount of force. When I rotate this, what I'm noticing now is not so much where it's real easy in one spot and then catches in another. So I think if we just try again, get this straightened out a little bit better, we could free this up even more. So let's take it back off and give it another shot. Okay guys, take a look at where we are now. I'll go ahead and rotate it. And it looks like maybe 25 10,000ths. I mean, we're within a quarter of a thousandth here now. So I believe that's within spec. Okay guys, I hit it a couple more times with the air chisel. And look at this now. I'm not seeing much of a deflection there. I mean, I think we're within 10,000ths of an inch now. I mean, I'm just not seeing it move. So we got this thing pretty darn straight. I'll go ahead and check on this journal here too and see, but I think we pretty much got it dialed in. Okay, this one here, it looks pretty good too. Maybe just slightly more, maybe 10 thousandths. But man, we're pretty good. So let's put it back in and see how it spins now. Okay, I got to the point where I can rotate it here. I got these tightened down. I can rotate this, and what I'm not feeling is any, hard spots. It's still a little difficult to turn, but the resistance is the same all the way around. Whereas before, when it was bent, it would get hard, easy, hard, easy, hard, easy. So there's one more check I want to do to see why this may be. And I have a feeling that the journals here are probably not all perfectly lined up. That's the only thing I can think of that would create a consistent additional force. If I loosen these up a little bit, then it spins real free. So it has something to do with clamping it down onto these journals. So let's take these back off and then see how straight these journals are and see if they're all lined up. Okay, so again, spins real free right now, no problem whatsoever. Whereas before, when it was bent, it would still, even without the caps on it, it would get easy, hard, and that sort of thing. So anyway, here's my straight edge here. Let's just kind of lay it down here and see if we have, oh wow, I'm detecting some movement there. Look at that. Doggone it. Okay. Quite a bit actually. I don't know if you can detect that. Let me move this a little closer. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to push down on this end here, and then I'll just apply pressure here. And you can see that rock a little bit. That tells me that these journals are not all lined up perfectly, which is a real bummer. And that's why I'm having this additional resistance. My hunch is that at one point this head was warped, so the whole head probably went like that a little bit, and then it was probably taken to a machine shop, and then the heads here were machined down, so this bottom side where the head gasket resides is nice and flat. However, this all stayed a little warped. That's my guess. So let's see, I'm going to put it on here and just see how far out these actually are. This is really unfortunate. Right, there's not much I can do about this one. I don't believe. If you know of a solution to this, drop me a comment, please. So I put the dial indicator here on the end, and then I'll just kind of hold both ends here and then rock back and forth. And you can see there, wow, that's a bit out. Looks like maybe 8 thousandths there. Well, that definitely explains the additional resistance that I'm getting when I put the caps down. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. And this one, although it's easier to spin, I mean, I can do it pretty easy, but still, it's not, you know, I should just spin. You should be able to take your pinky here and then spin it. So I'm sure we're going to detect a little bit of warpage here on this side as well. Let's just take these back off and check. I'm just curious. Okay, actually I just put the cam back in, so I'll do the same test here and just try to rock this back and forth. And yeah, looks like we got about 8-9 thousandths there. I'm gonna have to do a little research and see if there's any solution to this. Unfortunately, there's no bearings here, so I mean, if I did take it to a machine shop and then they ream this out a bit, there's no bearings that go in place here. So yikes, I don't know what to do at this point. Yeah, look at that, about 8 thousandths off. You know, I've never really thought about it before, but I guess anytime you take a head in to have it machined down, I mean, you're straightening this bottom edge here, but still, you're likely going to have some warpage up here where the journals are. So, something I've never even considered before. I'm going to have to look into this. So yeah, if any of you guys have any insight on how to deal with this or fix it, you know, short of getting a new head, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear. Okay, I'm doing a few more measurements here with the straight edge, and now I'm measuring across the where the cam caps reside here. And if I place this straight edge right here, push down on one side, and I got a filler gauge here of, this one's 11 thousandths here. You can see that this slides under very easily. Over here, very easily. And a little bit under here, that's probably right at 11 thousandths. And then of course here, it's this is the high point, so it's hooking up there. I push down this side, I get the same thing. Slide under here, no problem. No problem. So anyway, the thing is, and even over here on the edge, where the valve cover gasket resides, I think it's even worse. I think it's about 16 thousandths over here. I mean, look at this. It just slides through easily. So this whole entire head here is buckled up like so. And so now I got the camshaft all nice and straight. These two center journals are riding higher than these two. So if I were to put this motor back together as is and put the caps on here, basically the cam, it's going to wear hard on the bottom side, these two journals here, and then on the ends it's going to be pushing up and then wear a lot on the side there. So even if these are perfect circles, it doesn't really matter. That's not really going to be your bearing clearance, just simply because they're not straight and they're fighting each other. So I'm not exactly sure what the solution here is. This is just something that I've never even considered before. Okay, so you can see what's happened here. The whole head is warped, and it looks like it kind of went this way. And this surface has always been pretty good within 1,000, so I'm sure that these heads have been milled before. I had them milled again after filling in the chips where the fire rings were, and then they shaved another 2 thousandths off, so a fair amount of material has been shaved off of there. And of course with the straight edge, this is perfectly straight down to the thousandths, but of course this side has been left unattended. So normally this probably wouldn't be a huge issue if you're dealing with a push rod motor, but because you have cams that need to be perfectly straight and bearing clearances within 1,000th, this all of a sudden becomes a big issue. So I'm gonna go take these to the machine shop tomorrow, and I'm gonna ask them what the options are. I'm really afraid that they're going to tell me I just need new cylinder heads, but hopefully they can do something like, you know, add material into these journals here and then just rebore them. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'll find out, and I'll let you know. All right, guys, a few weeks have passed since the previous clip that you just saw a second ago. And since then, I've done a lot of research. I've been to the machine shop a few times, and basically I've discovered that there is a procedure for straightening the heads. Actually, there's two different procedures for straightening the heads. And anyway, because of the complexity of doing such a thing, I felt it'd be best just to make a separate video dealing with just the straightening of the heads. So, as far as this video goes, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.